Welcome to MuleTown Speed. I'm Brian and you're watching an engine showcase video. This engine is for sale and we make a video like this for every engine that we sell so that you can get an in-depth look at your engine and watch it run before you buy it. Although we don't rebuild or remanufacture engines, our process of cleaning, inspecting, testing, and fixing if necessary gives you the confidence that your used engine is going to run great in your project. It'll also protect you from spending big bucks on a crate motor or risking your time and treasure on a junkyard mystery motor. Today's engine is 353014. That's the stock number of the engine that you're seeing in front of you, and that's the engine that we're going to test today. It's not an engine similar to what we're testing. It is the engine. So that's the stock number that you're going to want to reference if you want to buy this, if you have questions on it, that type of thing. 353014. And this one's out of a 2002 GMC Yukon, which means it's an LM7. It's a 5.3 liter Gen 3 LS engine. These are that's the sort of the bread and butter truck LS engine, and man, these things are awesome. And this is a great example of a 5.3 LS. It's an iron block 862 head. It's got 140,000 miles, which is pretty low miles for these Gen 3s at this point because of their age and the vehicles that they're in. A lot of these engines have a lot more miles than that, and you can tell by the video here and the pictures that this one is a low miles unit, and it runs absolutely great. Because it's a Gen 3, there's no VVT, there's no active fuel management or AFM. Things like EGR have been removed. The purge valve system, that has all been removed. The rear O2s are no longer present. So it makes this a very easy swap into your vehicle. This is being sold as a level 3 kit, a level 3 package, which means it comes with all of the bells and whistles. You're talking fuel pressure regulator, you're talking wiring harness that's set up for your swap, PCM that's programmed to your specifications, fuse block that plugs directly into the wiring harness, all of the front accessories besides the AC compressor, just because most people don't use the factory placement on those. This also has all of the ignition system, all the little sensors to get your project going. That's our level 3. Basically, we've included everything that we can possibly think of to get your project going without really knowing exactly what your project is. And if you have questions on it, you're certainly able to contact us and ask those questions. All of our stuff, contact info is at the end of this video. And you can also visit MuleTownSpeed.com. There is a page there with all of our available engines. And at this point, we have, I think, 4 available engines, which is the first time that that's ever happened. Normally, we have 1 or none. But there's also a level page where it actually goes through what's included in each of the level packages. And this is a level 3. So it means you're getting the most value for your buck, I guess, is what it comes down to. This particular engine, we cleaned it up and we did a bottom end inspection. Those bearings looked absolutely great. So we went ahead and installed a new oil pump and LS7 lifters, which is kind of our norm, and it's just automatically, let's just replace those because we're in there, as well as multi-layered steel head gaskets and a brand new water pump and water pump gaskets. That's kind of our standard deal to get things going. We also added a new serpentine belt and oil filter and spark plugs and a starter. Yeah, brand new starter on this one, as well as brand new O2 sensors. So this has a lot of brand new parts on it, and you can see in the run video coming up that it is it's a good runner. It makes great oil pressure actually, and is going to last a long time in a project vehicle for somebody. The alternator works great, and you can see in the video and in the pictures how clean it is. So let's get to testing this. I don't want to let this run too long here. All right, here we go. 353014. This is our 5.3 out of our, I think it's a GMC Yukon. It's got 140,000 miles, and this thing is real clean. You can see there. There's the normal stuff that likes to get rusty and grimy in these trucks. This is a very clean example of a 5.3 out of a truck. We're gonna run this one today. I ran it earlier this morning. Did a little bit of tuning here and there on it just to get stuff kind of cleaned up and ready for y'all. So we're going to get it started again here. I've let it cool down. So what you can see is our air inlet temperature, which is ambient temperature, 91 degrees. So it's hot out. And then our coolant temp is 108. This is, I guess, as much of a cold start as I can get today because of how hot it is. So we're going to get it running, let you hear it, let you see oil pressure. You can see oil pressure here is going to be on this gauge, which takes the place of our oil pressure sensor, which goes in right there. So we'll be able to see that there. And we'll be able to see everything else on our laptop with HP tuners. This is a level 3 kit, so it comes with your wiring harness, it comes with a fuse block, PCM, and all of that is going to be set up for your application, depending on what you're going to put it in. And that includes tuning on your PCM, and as well as like your front O2 sensors. Both of those are included. And the thing that I always like to do is I test with the equipment that you're going to get. So you're going to actually get these different parts. You're going to get that sensor. You're going to get these sensors. You're going to get everything that's being tested here today, so you know it works. That's kind of my big thing that I always harp on is there's no reason in testing this if it's not going to be what you're actually going to get. So let's go ahead and get things started. You'll notice oil pressure here is going to be a negative 15, blah, blah, blah. It's not plugged in. That's why it's reading that. We've got a mechanical gauge. We have a direct link there to our oil pressure. And let's go ahead and get this started. Hit field pump. I'm going to start it up. Here we go. About 45 psi, something like that. 45, 46 psi. You can see our RPM here is stuck. My HP tuners is stuck. Let me restart this real quick. When I restart this, because it's stuck. Every once in a while it does that. It's just my my software here. Sorry about that. There we go, it's starting back up. So you can hear as it's warming up, things are nice and quiet with those new lifters. Got plenty of oil pressure. There we go. There we go, okay. So you can see 700 RPM on the idle, 30 kPa on our map. That is 100% on par with a good solid running engine pulling lots of vacuum. And we're warming up here. You can see those brand new O2 sensors there are doing their thing. Up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what they're supposed to do. And as this warms up, it says open loop, not ready. So it is not in open, or it's not in closed loop yet. But as this thing warms up, it'll get some temperature in it, and then it'll switch over to closed loop, which is probably the best benefit of electronic fuel injection, in my opinion, is the ability to trim fuel one way or the other to make that perfect air-fuel ratio and just to make it run incredibly well in all conditions, no matter what your altitude is or what the temperature outside is. And this is a perfect example of that. This has got, for an LS truck engine, a Gen 3, this is very low miles, 140,000. And it acts like it's got 140,000. It's super low miles. It's nice and clean. This engine was well taken care of. Gonna let you hear the idle here. And obviously you can see that exhaust. There's no smoke. There's no haze. There's no nothing coming out of that. Sounds real nice. being a level 3 package, that means it comes with all of your front accessories. You got a brand new water pump there, and alternator, power steering pump, and then if you want, on the side here, I can put a bracket. I can put a bracket on there for an air compressor or an AC compressor. If you want to run a factory AC compressor, there's a lot of instances in older vehicles where that position for that AC compressor doesn't fit. A lot of people will change the mount for that, but if you want the stock one, I can provide that. As you can see, coolant temp is 154. It's warming up nice. And it looks like it's stuck again. Oh, my bad. For whatever reason, it just kind of aired out there for a second. It did it again. Huh. It's weird. I'll just restart it again, I guess. I'll restart the whole thing while we're talking here. This is how you know that none of this is faked, because if I was faking this would be edited out. There we go. Okay. Back live here again. 163 on the coolant temp. You can see what tripped me up was that RPM wasn't moving around a little bit. It normally does. So there you go. So it's closed loop now, which means it's warm enough that the PCM is starting to trim fuel. You can see it's trimming a few percent. That's completely normal, and that's what you want. You want it to be able to trim less or more. In this case, it's pulling fuel out a little bit to get that perfect air-fuel ratio. And anything, 5% or less is perfectly normal. I think it goes up to like 25% one way or another to trim fuel out. But this is just a sweet little package. Brand new serpentine belt on there, keeping things quiet. This has a return style fuel system, so you'll see two connections. This is your feed line, and that is your return. What most people do is they take a stock, if they're converting from like a carbureted 350 or something like that, they'll take the stock feed line to their carbureted V8, and they'll use that as a return back to their tank, and they'll run one new line from their tank that is rated for, that 60 PSI that you need up to the supply side here. Makes it really easy. It's like a plug and play type deal. No drama. And this is going to run, I can't even say how long these things go for. So my work truck here, that's a 99, and it has over 270,000 on it, and it's got the original oil pump, original lifters, and everything on it. And who knows how long. It still has 40 some PSI oil pressure when it's hot. This one here is 140,000 with that brand new oil pump on it. It's 44 PSI maybe. So we're warming up good now, 187 degrees. So we're kind of getting close to the point where that thermostat's going to open up and start circulating water through the engine. That's how efficient these cooling systems are. Everyone kind of worries about, it runs hot. Well, it doesn't really run hot. The thermostat just doesn't open until close to 200 degrees because it's just that efficient. And obviously, we don't have, it's not in a car, it's not enclosed, but it's just, they're such good engines from the factory that it doesn't need a whole lot of extra cooling to make it work in a hot rod. So those lifters, brand new LS7 lifters, are nice and quiet. I wish I could keep this one for myself. See, 192 degrees. Everything is just doing exactly what it's supposed to do. This is as simple as it gets for an LS swap. Drive-by cable, so there's no extra tack module and electric pedal to deal with. The harness is already set up for you. It has the plugs on it for a 4L60, and if you want to run a 4L80, there's just a couple wiring changes that you need to do to that in order to get it to run a 4L80, and that's something that I can certainly do for you. I do it all the time. It's super easy, so we can do that for you if you want. And then if you don't want to run an electronic transmission, running a Turbo 350 or a 700 R4 is completely doable. Really, the only thing you have to swap out is your flex plate on the back, so that your torque converter matches up. So it's an inexpensive part swap, and it gets you going. The bell housing bolts up all the same, so it makes it super easy. We're getting close to 200 here, 194, 196. Keep this video short, I guess. I mean, that sounds good. See, underneath, there's no leaks. Everything's nice and dry under here. Nothing leaking, no seepage. I've been running this a bunch today, so if there was stuff leaking, we would definitely see it by now. And that's why I do this, so you don't put it in your hot rod or in your truck or whatever, and then fire it up and then realize, oh, I got to pull it out because the rear main seal leaks or the rear cover leaks or something like that. And man, that is just a kick in the balls. But that's why we're here to avoid. It's just sitting right at 196. It's, you know, probably completely warmed up now. I could turn the electric fan on, but there's really no reason to. It'll just run like this all day in 90, 91, 93 degree ambient temperatures. Like, it doesn't even care. Man, I love these engines. Let's do one more look at oil pressure. 42, maybe? Yeah, 42 PSI. So I found that with these engines, if you've got one, even if it's got a bunch of miles on it, if you've got one with good oil pressure like that, man, like you're golden. There's no reason to do anything with that engine if you've still got that good oil pressure, your lifters aren't making noise, and this is a perfect example of that. And I think I'm gonna call it right there. There's really no reason to keep going. Still at 196. Let's call it right there. Let's stop it. I'm gonna shut that off. And I'm gonna let this thing cool off a little bit. I'm gonna pull it off the run stand, and I'm gonna sell it to somebody that's gonna make an awesome project out of this. So I hope you liked what you saw there in the run video. If you're interested in this motor, our contact info is all on the right side of the screen here. Let us know the stock number of the engine that you're referring to when you call us, email us, whatever. That way we're all on the same page. We are located in Columbia, Tennessee, and that is about an hour south of Nashville, about an hour north of Huntsville. So for shipping, we can ship all over the country to a dock of your choice for a fee, and we can also deliver the engine to you for a fee just on our shop truck here. and get you taken care of that way. Or you can come pick it up here in Middle Tennessee. It's all up to you what you want to do. And all of this info, as well as other engines that we have available and our new PCM programming services, is on our website, MuleTownSpeed.com. That's kind of our hub. So if you have questions, go there and hit us up and let us know if you want this one. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.